Hey guys, just making a video on specific roles and how to position in a fight. Um, in this video, I'll kind of go over what roles there are in ZVZ and how you guys are expected to position and what you guys are expected to do in the middle of the fight. So these yellow lines here are going to be the let's say walls of the fight. Eventually, you're going to find like a southeast wall, and you're going to have to fight in kind of an enclosed space. So this is just pure open, and like how to kind of like fight within a choke. Fight within a choke or like a big area. So this is kind of like a big area. So right here is kind of like the kind of the legend. PT means peel tank. Tank means T means tank. R means RDPS. M means MDPS. H means healer. S means support, and Shotcaller is the crown. The X's is a zerg, and the O's are another zerg. First over, we'll go to the most basic things, the tanks, right? So there's tanks, and then there's peel tanks. Peel tanks are going to be your stoppers. That's going to be your one-handed frost, your one-handed arcane, your grail seeker, your grove keeper. Typically, Grail Seekers are supposed to watch the flank. However, like if it's just a 1v1, then they're expected to watch the main front. And we typically have them deeper into the enemy lines. So let's say that this is the line, right? This is the line and where we are fighting. Okay, these are the fronts established. The shot caller will be slightly behind the tanks, so they can get a clear vision of their group. The tanks will be in front of them, creating space, and the stoppers will be in each other's zerg to kind of get ready to stop enemy RDPS. Where the RDPS should stand is they're going to be casting a net, so they're going to be like this. And you can see that there's X's inside the circle line because these are enemy stoppers, right? Like enemies are supposed to stop enemy RDPS. So DPS should be like this. And a big thing that I want you guys to start understanding is it's a U shape. It's kind of like a horseshoe formation. What we want is for the other people to like engage into us and then engage kind of like nothing or not a lot of stuff. That way our RDPS are safe and they're on the sides. And the reason why we kind of set up this formation, most of the times in the open world, you'll see a lot of guilds set up this formation, is just because this kind of maximizes how clumps die. In a 1v1, I guess I'll get into that more later. First, I'll start drawing the other enemy RDPS. Right. Boom, 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 boom. So it's kind of very symmetrical. Then we'll add in the MDPS. Basically the idea of playing RDPS, right, is going to be just making sure that you're very spread out and you're doing as much damage as you can without getting stopped or getting caught, right? Because if you die to hit a clump, it's not always worth it. So we're trying to spread out in a way that it's going to be easiest for you guys. Okay. MDPS players don't give a fuck, right? So, like, oh shit, there's O's at the top. It should be X's. Sorry. Like this, right? And I'll just label this so it looks a little bit easier. X side. O side. So we can see that the O's are supposed to be on this side and the X's are supposed to be on this side. The O's and X's are different zergs. So if you're playing Bruiser, right, typically it's going to be, let's say I'm an enemy Bruiser, I'm off fighting. Kind of trading around, trying to fight people. And they should do the same. They should be fighting with their tanks. right? You're going into your so you're brawling and you're fighting. for most of the time. Let's see, healers. So healers on the X side will be kind of like this. They're going to be healing these pockets, maybe a little bit further, and then some of you guys are going to be kind of like up here healing, okay? This is where the healers are supposed to stand. Supports, you are going to stand in the middle, like kind of like here. So plate supports stand like right here, and the cloth supports stand a little bit further back, right? But I mean, the only cloth support that we have is going to be enigmatic. Damnation counts as an RDPS in this scenario. So we'll do that to the other side too, like that. That'll be, you know, plate supports. Oh shit, it should be circles. My bad. It should be plate supports, and these should be cloth supports, and then healers will be here, you know, here, 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 here. Spread out throughout the zerg so they could get zone healing. Basically in these type of scenarios, I know it looks kind of fucking messy, but the whole point of each role, right? Peel tanks, you guys are supposed to stop the enemy engage, right? What is the enemy engage? The enemy engage is going to be when the caller is saying... fucking rich. So peel tanks here are going to be people that stop the enemy engage. When you see scholar robes, when you see royal sandals, when you see people pop their boots, when you see people pop knight helmets, it means they're probably going to engage us. These are clear indicators that you guys need to use CC or silences or whatever you have to stop the enemy from reaching us. We do not want the enemy DPS to just walk into us and hit our backline for free. We want to stop them where they stand and put them in kind of a bad position for making a mistake. We want to also cancel some of their spells and interrupt their spells so that their E gets put on cooldown. These are all things that you need to consider when you're playing peel tank. If you are playing regular tank, you are my line. You make my men feel safe, right? So I have O's in the front line. You guys are here to create clumps, as many clumps as you can, and you want to hold them down, right? So these are going to be a mix of Grove Keepers and Camlins, but typically it will be Camlins. You guys will walk in, you guys will snare charge, and then make a clump, okay? And what we can do when we do this is we can make multiple clumps, right? So you guys can make a clump here, you guys can make a clump here, and you guys make a clump here. And this way we get clumps everywhere. So the problem with playing RDPS, okay, so now that we've kind of established what tanks do. Camlins, after you make the clump, you come back and you re-establish the front and you get ready to pop defensives and demon armors, okay? Now, the biggest problem is for RDPS players, right? Whenever you guys look for a clump, the first thing that you guys try to do is you try to look for the middle, right? You guys look for this. That is not how we're supposed to play. Because when you guys come for this middle, it creates a big clump. A massive clump in the middle that the enemy can counter off of. What you guys want to do, right, is you guys as DPS players, you want to, I'll just make these clumps again, right? You guys want to go and hit these clumps. Some of you guys, like, let's say it's like open terrain, you guys want to wrap around and hit these clumps, right? These guys that are super far in the back, you will never reach this clump. There's no way that you ever reach this clump. You can only counterclap if you are playing this far back. If you're playing these type of 4 DPS, you just counterclap front line. That's all you can do. without, you know, getting in trouble. Well, I don't want you guys to go so far and get punished, okay? If you're behind me, you only hit the tanks, you hit whatever's in front of your face, blah, blah, blah. If you are on the sides of me, that is when you will wrap deeper and look for stuff in the back, okay? So it's very important when we hit as RDPS that you guys hit in lanes. You guys do not want to clump up to hit whatever's in the middle, okay? Because you won't reach it, right? We want to move around, get on the sides of people, stuff like that. Like, let's say this is an imaginary wall, then you are wiping this wall because it's safe for you, it's free for you, okay? So really important tip as an RDPS. I'll tell you guys right now, your job is to hit the clumps, multiple clumps, okay? Sometimes we'll have multiple clumps, sometimes we won't. It's okay. It's okay not to hit a clump. You just need to drop your E. When I tell you to drop your E, you know, when it's 1, drop your fucking E. On these guys, you will drop whatever's in front of you because you can't go any further. And these guys on the side, you need to wrap around and look for like clothies on the side, right? We could get 2 healers, 4 DPS here, but not a lot of tanks are going to be on the sides, right? Because they're in the middle, right? So let's go back, right? We have peel tanks here and peel tanks here. So if you walk in, peel tanks here and peel tanks here. So if you walk in, right? Hold on. If you walk in, then you will get stopped. This is how most DVZs go. So when you want to, like, if you want to hit the clump, you have to go on the sides, right? There's no peel tanks here. Maybe there's one tank that'll stop you here. You know, if he sees it, then, you know, like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, as my frontline tanks, you make clumps, you pop defenses for the Zerg, but you hold the line, right? So what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to hold the line, but it's not going to be a lot of CC, and that's not what they're specialized to do. The peel tanks are specialized to stop the, like, the RDPS. MDPS, okay, so now that we've kind of gone over RDPS, MDPS, you're just having a fucking party. You're going in there, you're softening them up, you're not clumping up with the rest of the Zerg, you're establishing presence, you're making them scared, okay? The best time to play MDPS is when people are running away, and you are the one that makes people run away, okay? If they decide to counterclap us, you will be in the perfect position to recounter, right? MDPS, this is going to be kind of, I'm talking about like leather and plate players. Leather plate melees, like this is what you're planning to do. When they counter us, you get the free reclap. So you guys, like, you guys keep running people down. If they run down, then you keep chasing them. But you guys need to also learn how to come back for heals, okay? And when you guys come back for heals, it's not like you go to me to catch heals. This is where you're gonna die, okay? Because that's where most of the other enemy RDPS are gonna hit. Not everybody will hit lanes. Most bad Zergs will just try to shoot for the middle and clump their Zerg. What you guys need to do is come back to a healer. You know? Come back to a healer. I see that I put a, what do you call it? O's. Here. Sorry, I know that was a little bit confusing. But, one here. Okay. So when you guys come back for heals, you guys can't walk right into where everybody's going to hit. You guys are going to have to walk over to the sides and pick up a heal and then go back into fight, stuff like that. The enemy Zerg will ignore you for the most part. Some of them will Q and W you. Those are the people that need to go back. If you're full health, if you have full defenses, and you're ready to keep fighting, keep fighting. Because what the enemy Zerg will do is they will re-engage onto us, okay? So let's say they re-engage onto us. And then you, after all these RDPS go into the middle to clump to hit our Zerg, you will be behind them, ready to clap the fuck out of their backline. Okay, so that is the whole role of MDPS. Not only is it running down targets, creating fear inside of the enemy Zerg, but it's also to get a good reclap for when we need that. Healers, this is going to be your job. You guys are here to spread around the Zerg, making sure that you guys heal as much people as possible, right? So these will be your zones to heal. We're going to be healing zones, right? You guys are going to be on the side. Now my frontline healers. So you guys see how I have backline healers and frontline healers? This will be nature. Holy, 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 holy. And the reason why I say this is because if people need to top back for heals, they will walk into a nature healer. Right? This is kind of like, obviously there's no more movement and stuff, but we want to keep this as we are going. Okay? The holy healers will heal the front line, right? And these guys will heal kind of in the midline. And these guys will heal the whole back line. You know? So your whole point is just to heal as much as possible. These guys will watch for the main engage. These guys will like heal the people in the middle, and then these guys will heal in the back. It doesn't have to be as like when you guys go to CTA, I don't expect you guys to like, oh, like look at all the X's and O's and get overwhelmed. No, it's very simple. It's, am I around people? Yes. Okay, I'm in a good spot to heal. Am I inside of them? Yes. Okay, I'm in a bad spot to heal. If you're in the middle of the group, right? So the one thing about these healers is they're all on the outsides. There's no, this is good positioning. They won't get caught and they won't get focused, right? But you want to stay away from the main group, because if you're let's say you're a healer here and you get CC'd, there's no way you're healing. So what you guys need to do is play on the outsides around the Zerg. Okay? We want to keep creating this U formation. You guys see that? And you guys want to heal and be safe at the same time. Your life means the most. The big thing that I see healers do is they'll walk up to heal people. Stop fucking walking up. If the other guys need heals, they will come back. And if they don't, they will die. Fuck them. You're way more important than a tank, a healer, or a tank or like support or DPS. So what you guys need to do is make sure that your positioning is very key. You're like, oh, do I see another healer next to me? Let me go to another place, because like I could heal somewhere better. You guys want to split and divvy up the work. All of you guys standing in one spot, it just means one Grove Keeper is going to stop you guys when it's time to heal. It makes it very easy for them. We want to make things hard for the enemy. So what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to spread around the Zerg and make sure that you guys heal people, right? We're going to have generous heals. Generous heals, you're supposed to top up people in your party. Flash heals, you're supposed to heal the main part of the Zerg where the clump is going to be. And natures, you're just topping up our Zerg. Okay? Now that healers is kind of gone through, we will go to support. Okay? The whole reason for supports is to keep the Zerg strong and healthy. It's to enable us or disable the enemy. Okay? And that depends on what you're playing. If you're playing Damnation, your whole thing is playing technically like an RDPS, like a tank. You go in, you pierce the Zerg on the sides, you try to get out, okay? You really need to focus on getting out of the fight after you drop your E, because you are very squishy. So you guys can play on these wingers, okay? You guys can play on the sides. You guys can play on the sides as like an RDPS. And you guys can go wide and then get a free damnation off and then back off, okay? Like that. You don't go back into the middle to get away from the enemies. You walk off on the sides. You get out, okay? Enigmatics. You guys are obviously going to be enigmaticing the biggest clumps there is, right? Let's say they make multiple clumps. You get, this is why it's very important for supports to talk in TeamSpeak, right? Because this is the most coordinating role. My enigmatic can go here, my enigmatic can go here. Like, let's say an enemy clumps here, here, and here, right? This is how you guys have to divvy up the work. You know what I mean? So you guys need to make sure that you guys are dropping locuses and enigmatics very clearly on what you're going to do. You can get in TeamSpeak and you'd be like, yo, let me, I'm going to enigmatic the right side of my Zerg. Or I'm going to enigmatic the left side of my Zerg. Or, you know, I got Locust in the middle. Stuff like that. That is why so many other guilds do support TeamSpeak. It's very important. Stoppers, like one-handed arcanes, you guys can kind of like do the same thing as a peel tank. And you can still send support TeamSpeak and be like, hey guys, they're about to engage us. Get ready to pop defensives or drop good enigmatics. big reason why TeamSpeak is very important, because you guys are able to talk to each other and kind of understand what the enemy Zerg is doing and what and talk to each other and see what I want to do, right? So this is like a perfect scenario. This is a perfect scenario in terms of positioning and how to kind of play your roles. I don't expect everybody to play perfect, but I want you guys to understand what perfect is. So we can start making our way to get there. This is a perfect scenario in an enclosed space in the open world. How you guys are supposed to play, stuff like that. When we're hiding around chokes, it might be a little bit different, stuff like that, but we'll work on this one today. Now everybody kind of understands what their roles are supposed to do, right? Let's do a quick summary. Peel tanks, stopping enemy engages. Tanks, holding the line and creating clumps. RDPS, playing on the sides and creating kind of a net, hitting in lanes, not trying to just hit whatever I'm looking at, trying to gain pressure and kills in the fights. MDPS, you're weakening the enemy Zerg, you're beating the fuck out of them, you're creating fear in their back line, and you're reclapping whenever they hit us. Healers, you're spread throughout the Zerg, giving heals to multiple zones in the Zerg, making sure that everybody gets heals and everybody's topped up. You guys kind of want to be in this position so like people understand, oh, that's where the heals are. Let me make sure that I'm around that guy at least. A lot of big things that I see is a lot of people are running away from the healers. The healers are not going to chase you. If you want to fucking heal, then you need to be like within their vision. Let's say I am a tank, okay? I am a tank. And I need to come back for heals. I'm not going to walk into my healer. Why am I not going to walk into my healer? Because then it just creates a clump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk here so my healer can see me and heal here. You guys see that? That is how you ask for heals. You don't fucking walk into your healers because you're getting them killed. Supports, you guys are spread throughout the Zerg, heavy coordination based, but you guys are here to enable us, make sure that we have good defensives, make sure that we're not dying. So like duties are placed here and stuff like that. Making sure that you guys are able to kind of understand the situation of the Zergs and flex to whoever needs help, right? Like Damnations, it's pretty obvious. You play like an RDPS. That's why I consider Damnations RDPS. I don't think they're supports. But you guys are kind of like RDPS. You guys go in, you hit the clump, you get out. Supports, you're here to hold us strong. Pretty much it. I think that kind of makes people understand like how we're supposed to position and spread out and what the roles of everything is. I'll probably make more videos like based on like different scenarios, castle, Terry, and other stuff like that, but this is kind of like the open scenario. If we're fighting like 1v1 and we're trying to just spread out and fight, okay? Another thing that I want DPS to understand is RDPS, it's really hard to go tier. I mean, it's really hard to just be wherever the fuck the tanks are, right? Because tanks will stop you. So you guys need to find these creative angles to find out, like, even if there's a wall here, like, you can go, like, let's say you... I don't know, like, let's say there's a bunch of rocks here. Like, just fucking walk around the rock. And just, like, let's say there's a rock here, rock here, rock here, rock here, right? Just go around the fucking rocks. You don't have to always see the members. Go around the rocks, because then people are going to be surprised when you hit them, right? So just, like, think and just move around. You don't want to get stopped. That's, like, super shitty. So you guys need to be creative with these angles. Well, that's pretty much it.